Hello, and welcome back to the Beginner's Tatting video series. Today I want to show you how to do a Josephine knot as well as a Josephine chain, a Josephine ring. The Josephine knot is different than the Josephine ring. I was led to believe that they were the same, which in reality they really aren't. A Josephine ring is a completed ring. A Josephine knot is just several stitches that creates a little decorative knot on your tatting. So we're going to do that first, and then I'll get into the Josephine chain. Right now, we're going to start with the Josephine knot. A Josephine knot consists of 4 stitches, maybe 5, and you pull it until it knots, but it's flat. Josephine ring, like I said, is a full completed ring. Alright, for starters, we've got our thread, and I'm using crochet cotton size 3. This is so you can see. You wrap your hand for a ring to make the Josephine knot. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the first half of your double stitch 4 times. But with a Josephine knot, you want to come in with the completed stitch at the beginning to lock it in. I wasn't watching what I was doing, just doing everything backwards. So let's start that over and get it right. Okay, we're going to wrap our hand for a ring. Okay, and we're going to do, for starters, a full completed double stitch. This will lock our Josephine knot in and keep it in place, because you're going to leave some bare thread before the knot, just a little bit, and after the knot. And the reason you do that is to create the knot like a little notch right here on your thread. Okay, so now we're going to do the first half of the double stitch 4 times. It's 2, 3, 4. And then we hold that in place and close it. But you really got to keep it in the pinch and pull it really, really tight. Okay? You see the knot. That's our knot. Now, if we'd have started this in the middle of something that we're working on, you wouldn't have to put this double stitch in here. I do that because it's the beginning of it and we don't want it to slide all the way through. Because when you pull it, you got to have something to hold it in place. So now that we've got our first one, let's do another one. And we're going to leave about that much thread between the 2 knots. Okay? And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that should be a really good shot for you. And what you're going to do is the first half of our double stitch 4 times. Just the first half. Some tatters do the second half. Some tatters do the first half. The first half is easier because it's habit. Okay? Now we've got our 4 stitches on there. You see them? Now we're just going to hold them tight so they don't slip and draw that thread up until it's flat. You'll feel it in between your pinch. Once you get it, that's what it's going to look like. That is a Josephine knot. Some tatters call it a Josephine ring, but it's not a completed ring. The knot is not a completed ring. Now, to do the Josephine ring, we're going to move on down and do the same thing. This time, we're going to do, let's say, 10 first half stitches. All right, so we're going to do 1, 2, and you pull it tight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you want to keep it. It's going to roll, or going to try to roll. Don't let it. 9, and our last one is 10. Now we want to close our ring. Hold that thread in the pinch tightly so it does not roll, and close your ring in your fingers. You'll feel it as it closes. Once it's closed, this is what you get. You see that? That is a Josephine ring. And it's just the first half of the double stitch. Now when you do this, if you use the second half, the direction will change on this. Right now the direction is moving into the right. If you're doing the second half of the double stitch, the direction of this frill is going to go to the left. It's going to go opposite of what you're doing. So that is a Josephine ring, and that is a Josephine knot. There they are, side by side. You can see they're beautiful elements to add to your tatting. If you're working on a doily that's got a lot of bare thread in it, add some little knots in it, or maybe some rings in it. And a Josephine ring will usually come off of a chain, and it's like a throne ring, so it makes it even more dimensional when you use it on a chain. So there you go. Now the next thing we're going to do is the Josephine chain. Now I have used the Josephine chain, needle tatted Josephine chain, on a necklace. To me, the needle tatted Josephine chain is more uniform and it's a lot prettier. Okay? Do not confuse the Josephine chain with Victorian sets. I know you've heard of Victorian sets in your travels through the internet. Don't confuse the two. They're not the same. Okay? I will teach Victorian sets and what they are in the future. Okay? But not right now. We're still learning, so we don't want to do stuff more technically involved, you know, right off the bat. I know you're excited. I was when I first started tatting. Everybody is. Okay, now what I've done is I've just tied the two colors of thread together. Let me get some more off of this one. This is my ball thread right here. Right here. This is my ball thread. This is the thread, my working thread, my core thread. Okay? And what you're going to do is, for a Josephine chain, is the same thing. The first half or second half, your choice, of the double stitch as many times as the pattern calls for. The pattern says do 10 half stitches, you do 10. If it says 15, you do 15. For today's purposes, we're just going to tat up a few here so you can see how it does. There it is. That's our Josephine chain. And as you work it, it's going to curve. Okay? And you can increase that curve and twist it around the core thread, and it gives an added dimension to your chains for necklaces, trim, and things such as that. So let's continue on and keep doing these, and you'll see that curve coming in. Okay, it's starting to. Now what you can do to add more twist, just twist it, and it gives a twist to your thread. It's not going to hurt to do that, because that's what you want. You want that twist. See how pretty that is? Can you imagine a necklace chain made with that? The dimension. And it just twists around the core thread. And the more you do, the more it spirals around. And it makes a beautiful chain. Okay, you can add picots in here. You can pop a double stitch in here. If you're going to put a picot, my advice, and most tatters will advise you to do this, put in a full double stitch before the picot. Okay, so we got our double stitch in, and we're going to put in another one to lock that picot in. Okay, slide our picot over, continue on with the first half as many times as the pattern calls for. Okay, and there we have our picot. Once you have it in place, see, you can add more twist to it just by turning it on that core thread. You see, it's a very, very simple design element to use on many, many things. So that's a Josephine chain, a Josephine ring. Let me get it all, let me zoom out some so you can see better all the pieces together. Here we go. We have our Josephine chain, our Josephine ring, and our Josephine knot. It's twisted the wrong direction. There we go. Josephine knot. You see that? And it's real easy to do. So the next video I'm going to do both of these for needle tatters, and then the video after that I will be working on probably doing the tatting a cabone ring. So hope this helps you guys and gives you a little bit more to play with and enjoy. So happy tatting, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.